BKT World Men's Curling Championship semifinals. Canada's Brad Jacobs faces Scotland's Bruce Mouat. Scotland knocked out the defending champion Swedes in the qualifiers. First end. Canada sitting one. Mouat's last stone hits the freeze for shot rock, as the world #1 team was 8-4 in round-robin play, but they are the only country to beat Canada in this tournament so far. Jacobs facing one with hammer, leading all skips with a 95% on draw so far, and he easily picks up the single. Canada is on the board. Second end, a crowded house outside of the paint, as Scotland's third Grant Hardy aims to break through.
Canada shot rock, top of the button.
Hard first, hard.
And there goes exactly what they thought. Bang, 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 and they spill in. Goodness.
Nice shot.
Hardy smashes through the guard, and two of his stones spill into the paint, setting up the team well for the skip stones. Jacobs, now down to his last without hammer, going for the double takeout, but only manages to hit one stone, though he would fare better on his shot making later on. Scotland would pick up the deuce with an open house. They're up 2-1. Third end, Jacobs' first stone with hammer, facing two. Canada has converted on 8 of their last 11 hammers, almost manages to glue his stone to shot rock, but he still curls it into the button, hoping to bounce back with a deuce. But here comes Mouat. Owns a 10-1 record against Jacobs all time. He clears shot rock and limits the damage. Canada forced to a single. It's tied up at 2. To the sixth end, after a couple of blanks, it's Scotland sitting 2. Jacobs once again tries to glue his final stone to shot rock, but he just rolls it inside the 4-foot, leaving the door open for Scotland to pick up multiple points. Yet again, Canada only gave up multiple points in just 4 ends all tournament, and Mouat delivers on his second deuce of the day. Mouat beat Canada in the finals back in 2023. They're up 4-2. Seventh end, Canada with hammer and facing two. Earlier, Jacobs struggled with the double, but this time he makes no mistake and clears Scotland's rocks with ease. Now it's Canada with shot rock, but Scotland says, "I see your double," and raise you another. Mouat manages the perfect angle, but it's not enough weight, as Canada's other stone still hangs on to the edge of the outer circle. And Canada now facing two, as Jacobs last with hammer, and he decides to go for broke.
It is a desperate 2 they're looking for. Gallant, here we go. Here we go. You got it! Oh, goodness! Jacobs with a miracle 2.
Oh my goodness! Absolute perfection on the double. Jacobs not only forces Scotland out of the paint, but still leaves his outer rock on the edge of the circle. Jacobs' miracle shot making levels it at 4. Eighth end, Scotland with hammer, but facing two. Mouat aiming for the button, but his shot just slides a little too far, which limits his potential for another multi-point end. Jacobs, last without hammer, forces Scotland to a single point by sliding it into the 4-foot. Canada in control of their own destiny with hammer for both the 9th and 10 ends, but they're still down 5-4. Ninth end. Check out Scotland's third, Hardy, looking to remove Canada's cluster at the top of the circle. He gets the double takeout, and his stone rolls in for shot rock to help his team in a big moment. Impressive stuff. To skip stones, Jacobs facing one, and both teams decide to trade stones, which ends up in a blank for Canada. They have one end remaining to secure a berth into the finals. Jacobs was a finalist in his last appearance at the Worlds in 2013. 10th end, skip stones. A crowded house for Scotland. They're sitting 1-3-5, trying to limit Canada as much as they possibly can, and Mouat rolls it into the 4-foot, which leaves Canada in rough shape to try and pick up multiple points. But Jacobs pulled off the miracle in the 7th end. Does he have room for more?
Brad Jacobs.
Whoa! Curl!
Flat. Now here we go.
Curl!
Angle run. Bang, 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 bang. Oh, he's moved it back. Shot rock for the moment belongs to Canada.
There are no words. Somehow gets shot rock and paves a path for a chance to win it all. But Mouat carefully uses his final timeout, comes up with the game plan. Check out the weight on his final rock without hammer, perfectly forces Canada's stone out of the paint, and Scotland sits 3, which forces Canada to dive deep into their bag of tricks. Now, Team Jacobs, just over a minute in their timeout to decide on a plan of action, and of course, Canada goes for the win with the angle raise instead of a draw to force an extra end. A big decision with the finals on the line.
To play for gold, Jacobs, the line call, have you got it? Here we go, bang, no, underneath. And Canada will play for bronze. Scotland will play the Swiss for the gold.
What a game.
Jacobs just misses the mark, and Scotland gets a steal of 2. Canada's magic runs out. They fall to Scotland again. An unfortunate end to Canada's chase for their first gold in 8 years. They'll play China in the bronze medal match, while Scotland marches off to the finals.
Brad, how much was the ticking time clock play into the decision on the last rock?
A little bit. And that's how these games go. And you play, the top teams in the world are playing against one another, and you're getting into some complex situations. You're trying to keep an eye on the clock as best you can and save some time for the end. But yeah, a little bit. We didn't have our best today. We can't come out and force deuce. And that made it tough. Scotland came out firing today. They were really precise and not missing, especially early in that game. I know that we were able to get a deuce back in 7 and stay in it, which was exciting. But hey, what can you do? That's sport.
For fans of the game, we saw some brilliant shot making, and your guys never quit. We didn't see any of that. How proud are you of the team this week?
I'm super proud of us. And you're right. We're going to fight and battle all the way till the end. We're never going to give up. And we did that out there today. I still think we were very resilient, and I'm proud of us for that, after kind of the scoreboard not looking great most of that game. But you know what? We're going to bounce back, and we want to try to earn a medal here. We know we need to go out and play China, and they've been playing well all week. But hopefully we can regroup, come out in that bronze medal game, and get ourselves on the podium.
Will you talk about the shot selection after, about do you draw to take one, or are you good to play for the win?
We're playing for the win. Yeah, we're always going to play for the win, especially against a world-class team like Scotland. We know the odds are very much not in our favor if we just take one there and go to an extra. So we were okay with that. Just threw it pretty close, and I think we just had to basically sweep it all the way. It might have been a little bit more exciting at the end, but that's okay. We gave it our all. We can't do anything else.